Welcome and good evening to the February 18th meeting of the Speedway Redevelopment Commission. I'll call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. With me this evening is our Vice President, Jacob Blaisdell, our members, Rhonda Schwartz and Adam Young. We also have our Town Manager, Grant Kleinhens, with us this evening, filling in as Economic Director.
Extraordinaire.
There we go. So I have confirmed we have a quorum and proper notice of our meeting has been given. I'm just guessing no previous public comment?
No public comment.
All right. No one in the audience this evening either, so we'll move on to consent of the regular session meeting minutes from our January meeting. Those were previously distributed. Any other comments or edits from the group?
No.
All right, we'll go ahead and approve those by consent. Next is approval of claims and expenses. It's a pretty short list. Anything you want to highlight?
I just want to, so the total amount of the claims is $388,102.75. I did want to call out two items specifically. We did vote at the January meeting on returning the deficiency payment to Scannell. The reason we had to do that is because they paid it early and we had to give it back. So you approved that. That's all we need to remember last month. The other item is under the U.S. Bank, we had a shortage. We did not receive our property tax dollars from Marion County, and I'm going to say this on the record, until later than usual, and we had bond payments already due. So you also approved making that shortage payment early, and then we'll reimburse ourselves those funds now that we've received the tax dollars. Other than that, nothing significant.
All right.
For signature.
Yep. Any questions for Grant? All right, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the claims as submitted.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Moving right along to our director's report.
So just a couple of very quick items. So we are continuing to work with Dr. Sharma. We finalized that agreement last month. That has been sent to him. If you remember, the agreement stipulated that once the project's complete, we'll then reimburse those expenses for the water and sewer connection, permits, and other items in the amount of about $22,000. They have made progress on that. You can see the building change almost weekly. I think it's a very good thing. The other thing I wanted to mention to the SRC and the public, I've already did it at the council meeting, we did bid out a reconstruction of 25th Street from Lyndhurst to Parkwood, west of the library. We got fantastic bids. We thought it would be about 3.8 million, give or take, and the bids were about 2.3 million. So with our funds from the state that we had applied for and received approval, our local dollars will only be required to the tune of about $1.2 million, which is phenomenal. So we issued a general obligation bond, the town did, to pay for that and the Crawfordsville Road project. We're hoping that the Crawfordsville Road project follows suit and we also get a good bid for that one.
And those bid numbers are due next week?
The 26th, I believe,
Okay.
Wednesday next week. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then the council will approve it, I think, March 10th.
Great.
So those are my couple of items.
Okay, all right. We'll keep it short and sweet. Next is our new business for this evening. We do have one resolution of the Town of Speedway Redevelopment Commission confirming the declaratory resolution of said commission establishing the 16th and Lyndhurst redevelopment project area. Grant?
Yes, so just a couple of items. So I did put at your place a little more descriptive map with street names and that kind so that you understand where this area is. But as you can see, the area encompassed by this new TIF district or expansion of this TIF, it's really a new TIF district. I misspoke. It does connect to the Main Street TIF, but it's a new TIF. It encompasses all of Leonard Park, former town hall, the fire station, street department, and then along 16th Street on both sides, those commercial properties. The Borage is included in that, the office building to the south, all the way over to Main Street. We did receive, and you were provided a copy, We received a memorandum that looks like this. This is our local tax impact statement. So it identifies the different items that this proposed TIF, the numbers. So I'll go over a couple of those numbers. The project summary is estimated to cost about $25 million. What does that mean? That means we've identified about $25 million of capital improvement projects, including streets, sidewalks, curb and gutter, property acquisition, et cetera. We have not identified any property to be acquired, but we have thrown monies in that budget. So about $25 million is what the anticipated TIF could fund over the next 20 years, 20 plus years. So the impact, the important part of this deal is the very last page of that memorandum. This was provided to us by London Whitty Group. So there are three scenarios. The top scenario, scenario number one, is the taxes as paid prior to the creation and establishment of this TIF. So you can see there's the tax rate, 317, the different net assessed values, and then those estimated property tax levies of those entities. Scenario two assumes establishment of this allocation area in the TIF, which enables all increment assessed value to be captured by the Redevelopment Commission in the TIF allocation fund. Those numbers are written there. You can see the net tax increment is about $30,000 estimated at this point. The third and final scenario is the impact to the tax rate and the different levies if this is created. You will notice that tax rate would increase by 0.0015. That's a very minuscule amount. And that would take away from levies about $6,000. So the overall findings of this report and document created by London Whitty is that this TIF has very nominal impact to the community, very nominal impact to existing taxpayers, but it will generate a little bit of increment and a little bit of assessed value from the borage and potentially others as they are built so that we could spend dollars on capital projects in that area. And we all know 16th Street's pretty bad, parts of Lyndhurst are pretty bad. Those are owned by City of Indianapolis Department of Public Works. I want to make sure that's very clear. So with that, I'll answer any questions or attempt to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Any questions for Grant?
Sure, yeah. I think, Grant, thanks for the explanation and the work you're putting into this. I know it was kind of handed off to you
Sure.
as Carmen left, and so we were in the middle of this, so appreciate your work on this. I think one of the things we discussed, we've talked a lot about potentially redeveloping the area that is the old town hall, down Street Bar, all that kind of stuff, and in wanting to potentially do work there, we had to incorporate the entire park because that's all one parcel.
It's owned by the water department,
okay.
yes.
Okay, and so it's we can't really split that, at least without doing like a parcel adjustment.
And we didn't want to go to that expense. It's just easier to put that in there.
Sure.
And actually it leaves us opportunities. If we do have a surplus, we could reinvest into that park.
Right.
I'm not saying we will, but we could.
That opens that opportunity.
Yep. Or
Okay.
help with a new well or other things that might need to be done.
Yeah, okay.
But I think it's key to remember all of Leonard Park and all of that former town hall property, the fire station, none of that pays property tax.
Right.
So if it does all redevelop, that will be all captured by this TIF, can be used to issue bonds for the construction of that and infrastructure improvements. I think this is a win-win for us and really creates a catalyst for some new potential development in that area.
Yep, I agree. Great, thank you.
Good questions, yep.
Yeah, I think just one clarification, if the public is looking at these maps, while you see residential properties in these like kind of red areas, just to confirm that we're not capturing the taxes from the residential parcels. It's just that the monies that we capture in this district could be used in that area, including, residential streets and that kind of thing. So don't get too freaked out on what you're seeing. The idea is to capture it from the commercial businesses and those improvements and use it in the area.
Yeah, I always try to explain to people to assuage any concern. We're not creating this district does not mean we're going to take your property, buy your property, do anything to your property. It just means that if you decide to do something to your property, i.e. convert it into an office or a restaurant or whatever, we can then capture those dollars to assist them and assist that area to improve and become better.
All right. Any other questions? All right. With that, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve our first resolution of the year, 2025-01.
I second.
Great. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the resolution, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. All right. Thank you. There is no old business tonight. Any upcoming events to share with the community?
I have a couple. Saturday, March 1st, will be Mardi Gras on Main. So check with local restaurants for what specials they might have. I know Dawson's already has theirs out online, but check back to see what's out and hope to see you out that evening. And then St. Patrick's Day on Saturday, March 15th. But I imagine most of these establishments will have specials all weekend.
We've also got the State of the Town next Tuesday, the 25th, Delara. So we're actually, we needed to increase size, which is great news. I mean,
I think it's very important it is at Delara, so don't show up here. You won't
it was
participate.
packed last year. I know I was here last year, packed house, so I applaud that we got a bigger venue because of the
Now watch nobody show up this year. That's just the way it's going to be.
Let's not.
I think they're all watching this, and they get the
Sure.
invite, they got the reminder. So.
It's a free event, so come out.
Yeah. Some cars, I think, to look at, too, is the part of the promotion. So, and last but not least, as our friend Tom Popchef would always say, please support your local businesses, restaurants, retail. It's really cold out, and so if you're able, it's been really quiet. We've heard from a lot of our business owners, kind of slow. So if you're able, please go out, please support them, and just keep them here supporting our town. So with that, I'll adjourn the meeting at 6:12.